You want to be like Trump? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Snap, snap, snap. Crush, crush, crush. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. Even if you earned it, you still owe. I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million. And this person has nothing? And you can sleep? You can still go to the movie? These are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Millionaires. How can they be humanitarians? By the fact that they're millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary. I know you got $40 billion, but can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me.
How are things going for the Trump administration right now, Antonia? Things are going so well that a war that has bumped the Epstein investigation to the back page for the last 5 weeks is going so badly that the First Lady of the United States makes an unscheduled, impromptu statement about the Epstein investigations that the administration was so desperate to get out of the headlines, to get back in the headlines during an international armed conflict where 48 hours ago, the President of the United States, her husband, was threatening the destruction of a whole civilization. So we are 48 hours separated between threatening war crimes and distracting from the threatening of war crimes and a colossal disaster of our own creation in the Middle East. And now we are burying a statement by the First Lady about an investigation that the Department of Justice has so bungled that Pam Bondi, who 1 week ago was the Attorney General of the United States and who 1 week from now should be testifying before the House Oversight Committee, will not be testifying. And the argument that the administration is advancing there is, well, she's no longer the Attorney General.
Like, nobody saw this coming, and I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being snarky. Nobody saw this coming. Melania Trump, of all people, walked into the grand foyer of the White House and talked about Epstein. I thought, shh, don't talk about Epstein. Said that the lies linking her to Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. She did that unannounced. Several of her own aides didn't know what she was going to say. She said Epstein didn't introduce her to Trump. Fine. She says she's never been named in any court documents or victim statements. That's true, and it matters. But she also addressed the email, the one released by the Justice Department, written to Ghislaine Maxwell, talking about a magazine article about J.E., which is Jeffrey Epstein, one would assume, asking about Palm Beach, signed Love Melania. She called it a casual correspondence, a trivial note. And then this part. She called on Congress to hold public hearings for Epstein survivors. Democrats immediately said, yeah. So the First Lady, on the same day her husband is selling his ceasefire victory to the world, just handed the opposition a public Epstein hearing on a silver platter. I don't know what's happening in the White House, but between a misunderstanding that killed 182 people and Love Melania to Ghislaine Maxwell, today is a...
Melania Trump thought that she would stop speculation about her and Jeffrey Epstein by making a surprise public statement. She could not have been more wrong. Instead, she's prompted lots of questions about why she felt the need to speak out now. Melania said she was not a victim of Epstein's abuse, that he did not introduce her to Donald Trump, that she was never on his plane or on his private island. She was pictured with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in this photo back in 2000, but she said it was just because they had overlapping social circles that they occasionally ended up at the same parties, nothing more. A friendly email that she wrote to Maxwell in 2002 was published as part of the Epstein files. In it, she said Maxwell looked great in a photo in a magazine and asked her to give her a call when she was back in New York. Mrs. Trump said this was just a polite reply, a trivial note. We almost never hear from Melania, yet here she is saying stories that are circulating about her and Epstein are not true, when there just is not a lot of coverage about her and Epstein in the press or on social media. And she's even calling for a public hearing to allow Epstein survivors to tell their stories in public, at a time when her husband's administration usually tries to keep Epstein and all the political controversy around him out of the headlines.
Going to scorch earth Trump to get him back on track. Only way to do it is to go after him viciously. You've already shed all over me. And if you try to rub it in, I just, at that point, I don't care anymore. So if you think I've been coming after you, if you think that I'm trying to get clicks by attacking you so the Democrats that don't buy anything from me and don't like me want to put me in jail. If you think I've been on your ass, say one more thing. One more thing out of your mouth. And Laura Loomer, send him this, okay? One more thing. When I've gone through hell back in your ass because you were the lesser of two evils, then I'm going to show you how the cow ate the cabbage. Do one more thing. You should be kissing my ass. But instead, you shit all over me and rub it in. I'm not looking for a fight, but if you want one, you came to the right place.
Okay. I think you said it all.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's time to learn you something. There's a lot of people who have been complaining about the fact that gasoline is not lasting them as long and it doesn't smell the way that it used to. That's because of ethanol. Previously, before we decided to bomb Iran, normal gas, regular unleaded 83, 87, whatever the fuck the number was at your pump, the regular unleaded gas that you were getting from the gas station was about 90% gasoline and 10% ethanol. Gas has always been cut with ethanol. Why has gas always been cut with ethanol? It is because pure gasoline will fuck up your engine. Ethanol is needed to lubricate the engine and make sure this bitch don't go kaboom, okay? Since we decided to bomb Iran and Iran decided to close the Strait of Hormuz and we are not getting oil from over there, and the petrodollar is starting to diminish, the barrels of oil that we are getting in cost more money, companies are now cutting gasoline with even more ethanol. Why are they doing that? Because you can make gasoline at a cheaper price, but upcharge it to other people. And a lot of people are none the wiser because a lot of people don't know that gasoline already contains ethanol in it. Now, cutting gasoline with ethanol does nothing to the engine. But what it does do is fuck up your car's fuel economy. What is fuel economy, you may ask? Fuel economy is how far the vehicle can go with the amount of gasoline that is in the car. Previously, gas used to be 90% gasoline, 10% ethanol. Gas is no longer 90% gasoline and 10% ethanol. We now have less gasoline and more ethanol, which means you're not going as far because there's less gas in the mixture. The takeaway from all of this is, no, your gas don't last the way it used to. No, it don't smell like it used to. It's high as fuck for absolutely no fucking reason, and it's all Wig's fault.
Bro, so I just got out of a basketball game. Tell me why I just found out there's a whole MAGA civil war going on right now. You got Trump beefing with Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly. He called Candace Owens ugly. I mean, what is this? I mean, look, I guess the pressure is getting to him. He destroyed the economy. He got us into war. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, bro. It's what happens when you have stupid people in office.
See, but she didn't deny the photo. She didn't deny the email. She specifically denied the word friend. And that's a very lawyery denial. She walked up to the White House podium yesterday and specifically said she was never friends with Epstein. But she didn't say she was never an escort for Epstein. So, see, what she actually said is she is not Epstein's victim. And that Epstein did not introduce her to Donald Trump. She only crossed paths with him in 2000. But there is a photograph, documented, published and dated, bitch, for February 2000 of Melania. Melania and Trump and Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell at Mar-a-Lago, bitch. And there's an email where Miss Melania wrote an email, this letter to Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's convicted sex offender trafficking partner, and signed it, Love Melania, and told her to call when she got back to New York. So I guess we could say she's not technically lying about being Epstein's friend. She's just avoiding that word for a very specific reason. And we're going to talk about the fact that this speech came out of nowhere. Like, y'all don't find that suspicious? That they're like, it was quieting down. The Epstein talk was quieting down, bitch. We were like, yo, we're not going to stop talking about that. Why of all motherfucking people? Like, there's no viral news story. There's no evidence that popped off. And she just decided, you know what, today is the day that I'm going to address the lies. While we know that the Trump administration has yet to fully comply with the subpoena to be transparent, the Transparency Act, to release all of the Epstein files, they have yet to do that, bitch. And we know that the White House guard, like, they were caught off guard, and Trumpty Dumpty himself was like, damn, I ain't know she was gonna do that. Ooh. So why now? Like, what's about to pop off? What's about to happen? What does she know that we don't know? So what is she trying to get ahead of? Who is she trying to protect? What does she know?
Melania coming out unprovoked, talking about the Epstein case. Let me tell you something. What is she expecting to get released? Now, I need to know. Because you coming out talking about, oh, me and Donald only went to his parties from time to time. Oh, I didn't know Maxwell like that. Oh, me and Donald met by chance. What? I wasn't one of Epstein's victims. What? Why are you saying that now? We've seen you in your black and white dresses, walking around. You don't say shit. You don't talk. Like, even when you released that movie that nobody saw, we thought to ourselves, you ain't saying nothing. So you must know something. And now, when there's a whole war out here, you saying something? Suspicious.
I was saying the other day how people need to reclassify how they view violence. The city councilman member in Indiana who approved the data center after everybody in the neighborhood said that they did not want a data center in their neighborhood. He ended up getting his house sprayed up and somebody left a note saying no data centers. I feel sorry that his son was there, but I don't feel sorry for what happened. He doesn't view putting a data center in somebody's neighborhood, polluting their air, making their water toxic, running up their electricity bill, shortening their life expectancy. He doesn't view any of that as violence. That is exactly what that is. That is violence. People really need to reclassify the way that they view violence. Most violence in America is enacted by people in suits. And the violence that you see on the local news of somebody waving something around in the air and bullets flying, that is a violent reaction to other people's actions. And then he proceeds to say that we can't normalize this type of violence, but what he did was normalized violence. I don't feel bad for him because he literally got a violent reaction from the violence that he was trying to inflict on an entire neighborhood.
Confuse the enemy. Yep.